everybody, I'm Emerson Keith. I'm sitting here with Jayden Torres, and we're starting a podcast called The Future Tour.
Hi everyone, I'm Jayden Torres. I'm also with the Future Tour and Torres Disc Golf, as you can see on my hat. You can also find me on Future Tour on Instagram too.
So let me tell you what The Future Tour is going to be about. It's kind of in the title, the Future Tour, as in kids just like Jayden. Jayden, you're what, 15 years old?
14.
14 years old, holy cow. He's already taller than me. But to find kids like Jayden and get them prepared for what the tour is going to be like. More early on in their career, they're setting themselves up to really succeed on the tour. So our goal with this is to help those kids and really boost their career, be a stepping stone for kids getting into the tour. Our goal is to have kids on and let them talk about disc golf and talk about what's going on the tour. I'm here to answer any questions they have. We'll probably have other pros also be guests. And so let's tell them what we did today.
So today we went out to this private course in Cleveland, and it was really fun. It was private. I was excited to drive the golf carts because I wanted to just drive it around, but we didn't get to because it rained out quite a bit, and I beat Emerson today.
That is not true. He stopped keeping score. He started throwing forehand rollers. I just about had a heart attack trying to teach him course management today. Did you learn anything from today?
Not to just force my shots, to to put it in placement, not just to go for all the birdies, not just go for all the long distance.
Yeah, like that. Like our first hole, 480 feet. Jayden can throw pretty far, but I don't know if he's got 480 on the first hole. It was marked as a par 4, so we get out there and he grabs a distance driver right off the tee and rips it and turns it over and throws it into a bush, and he's not in a great spot, and he's basically struggling to get to a position farther up the fairway and then pitch up and hopefully be close and tap in a par, where you've got a 480-foot hole. You could dice that up into two. You're throwing 240 each time. I know all you 14-year-old kids out there can throw 240, but in a tournament setting, why lose that stroke going for distance, even though you know that you're not going to do it? I mean, a stroke could mean that you win the tournament or that you lose the tournament or that you qualify for a different tournament. It could mean so much, and especially once you get on the pro tour, sometimes one stroke is like a couple $1,000, and you just start slowly letting those slip away by playing outside of your game and trying to force too much, and then next thing you know, you've gone from 5th place to 43rd place just in a short time because you didn't play smart. You know that anyone else in your division, the only way that they're gonna do it is if they throw it in. Yeah. So if you're playing for that 3 and you're playing smart, you take your 3, and you got plenty of other people that are just they're gonna take that distance driver and they're gonna crush it out there, and they don't really know where it's going. They're just trying to throw far because the hole says that it's far. Yeah. They're not dicing up the hole and really taking into account the consequences for throwing the distance driver and turning it over into a bush, and then forehand roller out of the bush goes into the bushes on the left side, and then you got nothing, so you just have to pitch out, and then you're mad about it because the person you're playing against is underneath the basket for 3, and it's compounding of bad decisions in your mind.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me at the Hideaway.
Yeah, so you're like, you thought you could throw this big monster shot that's really not going to do anything extra for you, where the dude that you're playing against just threw it right down the fairway with a slower speed disc, made sure that he landed in the fairway, and you're in a bush. And he's licking his chops. He's like, oh, yeah, he's going for way too much. I'm playing smart. And then there's a 2-stroke swing on the hole.
Yeah,
and he didn't do anything special. All he did was throw an easy shot down the middle, stayed in the middle, and then he just threw a little putter shot. Just nothing hard. Everything's wide open. He just tossed a little putter up there, and he gained 2 strokes on the person that's taking that driver and really trying to go for distance that's not needed.
Yeah, I understand now because I used to just think like you always want the two. Because whenever I was caddying for you at the Hideaway, you were like, "Well, threes aren't really good for my division." And I took that like I was like, "Oh, I need to start getting more birdies," so I started to throw farther and farther.
When I said that, like pars are okay, but in my division, you have to birdie. It's almost like a who can get the most birdies race at most of these tournaments. But even if I'm not getting those birdies and I'm taking pars, I'm not taking bogeys. I'm not losing two strokes. I'm still playing for position in tour points and everything. So there's a time and a place to really like, okay, I am gonna try and throw it 500 feet, and it could go bad, but if I do this, I have a chance to win. So you just have to recognize those scenarios and really pick and choose and weigh out your options. And I mean, it's probably going for stuff. It's cost me more than it's helped me in my career.
Yeah.
But if I had someone that told me a long time ago, well, if I had someone that I listened to a long time ago, plenty of people have told me, if I would have listened to them, what I'm telling you right now, then I would have saved so many strokes. I might even have won more tournaments.
Yeah. That's why like my age, like right now, we just like we want to do what we want to do. We want to just get all the way down the fairway. And that's what I like. That's what I've been doing.
Which is good. That's a good thing because you're trying things. You're trying to push your limits. You're pushing your distance constantly, and that's a good thing. But that's a good thing for practice rounds. So when you go out there and you're practicing, you're like, okay, I'm going to try the risky shot, and then you're like, okay, even if you do that, even if you throw the risky shot and it's perfect, you threw it perfect. Well, you go, okay, well, what could go wrong with that shot in the tournament? And then you go, okay, well, I could be in the bush. Let's also do the safe play. That way, when you're in the tournament, most things are situational. Like you might be ahead by some strokes, so you only have to play the hole. You can play the hole safe, or say you're behind a few, which you probably haven't thought that deep into it.
Yeah, now I kind of get like what you mean, like what everyone's been telling me, like don't force it. But ever since like that round like actually really helped me because I stopped forcing my shots and I started using like my angles and all that to work and just lay up and I got more birdies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. And you probably saved a bunch of strokes and a lot of position, like the Hideaway. If the second round you kind of switched a little bit and you played a little bit safer in the woods, right? Well, the first round on the bigger course, if you would have done that, how many strokes do you think you would have saved?
Probably 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
I finished in fourth place and I was at plus 17 and the first place was at like plus 13.
Yeah. And for the people watching, these scores plus 17, plus 13 are completely normal for the course that we were playing. It's one of the hardest courses in Texas, the Hideaway. And the conditions were cold. It was windy, very tough. I believe even in Open, there was only a couple scores under par for the weekend. So very tough course. But like Jayden was saying, he attacked the bigger course too aggressively and thought that he needed to push farther down the fairways on all these holes, but there's OB and he was losing strokes left and right, and he could have played it safer and potentially been around closer to the lead. So come second round, he's not so far back. The best way to be able to do that, because I get in the heat of the moment all the time and I'm just like, gotta make it, is just make it part of your pre-shot routine. Like, okay, you know what disc you're going to throw, you know what line you're going to throw, where you're trying to land. Well, add another thing in there of where am I at in the tournament. Your thought process through each throw is there might need to be more thought into it rather than just going, oh, let's try to throw it from here to there. You got to kind of think of, well, how am I going to get it to there? What's the smartest way to do it? What's the most, my favorite way to say it is, what's the highest percentage shot for me on this hole? Yeah, so we talked about game plan. One thing I want to know, from everybody watching, and you can put this in the comments or maybe send a DM. What is your favorite way to prepare for a course that you haven't played yet, and you're going to a tournament? So you've never played the course. For the kids, you had school, so you couldn't get out there early. For everyone else, you had work or like whatever happened, you have to go play the tournament blind. I don't suggest doing it all the time. What's your favorite way to prepare for a tournament that you're going blind into? And yeah, comment that. Our favorite comment, we are going to reach out and get your address, and we'll send you one of my Tour Series Valkyries, their Star Color Glow. And that's going to be signed by me and Jayden here. And then we're also going to send you 2 of Jayden's stickers, his Torres stickers here. Super cool. It's got a little, what is that, a SKU code, barcode?
For my Instagram.
Snapchat code, whatever.
That's a barcode.
So you scan that, and it'll pull up all his Instagram stuff. So that's super neat. It's kind of like a disc golf business card. But yeah, comment down below your favorite way to practice for a course that you aren't gonna get to play before the tournament. You have a chance to win this Valkyrie. And then to help us out, comment what you would like to see us talk about. Please tag kids, any kids that might be interested in coming on and talking with us about disc golf. And yeah, thanks for watching the first episode of the Future Tour podcast. And can't wait to do the second one. Thank y'all.